Good morning, everyone. It is Monday, the 26th of July, 2021, and I just wanted to give you an update on the New South Wales COVID grants that are now available for application. So, the first grant, the business grant, was available last Monday, and a lot of people have already gone online and applied for that. And that was a one off payment of either $7,500, $10,500, or $15,000, depending on the amount of turnover that you had a decline in the period between the 26th of June and the 17th of July. The grants that come out today are to supplement this. So there's two grants. The first one is the Job Saver Grant. Now, the Job Saver Grant is essentially for those people who applied for that first grant or have been affected since the 17th of July with a decrease in their turnover. And this is for the larger businesses, those that turn over more than $75,000. They may employ staff, they may not employ staff. And depending on that, the payment is determined on the level of staffing that they have. So if you're a non-employer of staff, which means you're a sole trader, a partner in a partnership, or perhaps you don't employ staff, but you actually just get a trust distribution, you'll receive a payment of $1,000 a week, assuming that you've met the eligibility criteria. And to be able to get that, you need to demonstrate also that your business is the main source of income for the people who are benefiting from that. So if you're a sole trader, this has got to be your source of income. You can't also have a wage and salary job and then also have a bit of a side hustle and get that payment. So just be aware of that. You also would not be able to get this if you are getting that $600 a week as a sole trader or a partner in a partnership. So you may want to think about whether that payment needs to continue and this is a better option for you. If you're in a partnership though, and both the partners are getting that $600 a week payment, that's $1,200 a week versus the $1,000 a week that you're going to be getting from this grant. So you may be better to get that $600. Just keep that in mind. However, the Job Saver money, I do believe, is not taxable income. So there is that benefit of having that as a non-taxable payment. So have a little think about that, and of course think about your own circumstances. Now, if you do employ staff, the payment will be somewhere between $1,500 a week and $10,000 a week, and it's based on your payroll. Now, we've now got some clarification of how they're working that payroll out, and it is going to be based on the last BAS that you lodged prior to the 26th of June. So that means if you are a quarterly lodger, it will be based on your March BAS, and if you're a monthly lodger, it would be based on your May BAS. Assuming that you had those lodged at that time, but I think that's what they'll be looking at. And they'll look at the W1 figure on those BASs, and they will use that to determine the amount that your weekly payment will be. It will be interesting to see how this is rolled out, I must say. It's a little bit confusing in my mind, but I can understand what they're trying to do. I would be very hesitant if I was you to be going and changing BASs now if you have not lodged with wages and suddenly you've decided that you've got to change that. So just be a bit careful if you're going to start doing things to make yourself get a better payment. I imagine that would be considered fraud. Okay, so go on, apply for that. Now, they have given you extended the list of highly impacted industries. So with the first grant, the list of highly impacted industries did not include construction, and that is because construction hadn't shut down with that first grant period, which was between the 26th of June and the 17th of July, which meant if you were in a construction industry and had the impact so that you could get that grant, you needed a letter from an accountant. So we've had lots of clients coming to us asking for help with that letter. With this second grant, construction is now included in the highly eligible businesses. And if you are in one of those highly eligible businesses, you do not need a letter from us. So you can just go on and apply. I would have a look at the information that you need to provide them before you go on and apply, and make sure you have all that information ready. Make sure you've had the decline in turnover as well, because we've had a few clients who've come to us thinking they're eligible for the grant, and when we've checked it, there hasn't been the decline in turnover. Remember, you need to check that compared to the 2019 year, so the same 2-week period, minimum of 2-week period in the 2019 year, to demonstrate that you've had that 30% decline in turnover. It's not as high as that original grant. It's only a 30% that we need to demonstrate. And once you've applied for it, I believe the payments will continue while ever we're in lockdown. And I imagine that I believe they're every fortnight that you'll be getting those payments into your account. It may be weekly. I'm not sure on that Job Saver one. So just keep an eye on it. I think it will just I don't actually know the answer to that, but you won't have to reapply for it. It will keep coming through for you. Now, the micro grants is the second grant that's been open. Obviously, you can't get both of these. So the micro grants are for those people who are smaller businesses and have a turnover of between $30,000 and $75,000 a year. For those businesses, they're eligible for a grant of $1,500 a fortnight, and that doesn't matter whether you're employing people or you're not employing people. So if you're a sole trader and you are in that category, you would be eligible for that payment. However, you must not be also getting the disaster payment from the Commonwealth Government. And the biggest question I've had of late are people who are in that sole trader partnership type space asking me, can they get, how do they switch from one to the other? Because clearly a $1,500 a fortnight payment is better than $600 a week. And also it is not taxable, so there's that added benefit for it. The answer is I don't know, because it does say that you can't get this if you have got the disaster payment. Now, all I can suggest is either you call Centrelink or you go online and see if you can stop getting that disaster payment and see if you can apply for this new payment. It will be backdated, so you may be able to ask if you can pay that $600 back if you're able to do that, or maybe you'll just have to settle for the $600 a week if that's not a possibility. The other question I've been getting is for people who are out of scope, so they either weren't employed, they weren't working, their business hadn't operated in July 2019, so they've got nothing to compare to. My suggestion again is if you're in that category, talk to your accountant, see if you can get a letter to justify what the situation is. Services New South Wales are saying that yes, you can apply and you just need to upload this and this, but I think the letter from an accountant will help you a little bit more to establish the criteria as to which you apply. And obviously you need to have a reason as well. So don't just think that we can give you a letter because you happen to be in business in New South Wales. You have to be showing that you aren't working or that you're having a significant impact from COVID as a result. So, obviously take a little bit of time to think about those things. Now, with any of these payments, if you have staff working for you, you have to maintain the headcount as at the 13th of July. That means that you don't have to be paying them full time or their same wage. You just have to maintain that employment relationship, which means you haven't sacked them or told them that they will not be returning to work. If they happen to leave in the meantime on their own accord, that is okay, but you've just got to make sure that you're intending to bring those people back on when the lockdown is finished, and they will continue to be employed by you. But because you don't have to be paying them, they can go on and get that $600 grant, $600 disaster payment from the Centrelink. That will not impact your ability to get these grants. So just be mindful of that. The only time that is going to impact you is if you're a sole trader or a partner in a partnership and you're getting the $600 and now you're trying to get it for your business, because they see you as one and the same, and that would appear to them as a double up. So if you are an employee of your company, then you aren't working, you probably can go online and get that $600 payment, as well as getting the money for your company to continue to provide for other expenses. So the payment for JobSaver is 40% of the wages at W1 on your last BAS. So go and have a look at that. That would be, don't forget, your last BAS is going to be for either a quarter or a month. I would then go and work out what that would be on a weekly basis, and that is how they're going to calculate it. I'm assuming they're going to divide it by 13 or divide it by 4. That's all I can assume at this stage. Be interesting to see how they do calculate it. They haven't really told us. All right, stay safe, everyone. We're here to help, but if you can apply for this without our help, because you're in a highly impacted industry, we would really appreciate it if you can go on and do that, because we will no doubt be inundated with calls and emails today requesting our assistance. Stay safe, everyone, and I'll let you know when I know some more information. Thank you.